Hello everyone, I'm Jesse Krull. Welcome to the Final Four edition of TommieMedia's The Locker Room. For the third time in 6 seasons, the University of St. Thomas men's basketball team is heading to Salem for the NCAA Final Four. The 8th-ranked Tommies will face 4th-ranked Christopher Newport for the first time in program history. Teams that fell victim to St. Thomas in the early rounds include number 1 ranked Augustana and number 11 Whitman. I'm joined today by Coach John Tower and guards Grant Shaeffer and Taylor Montero. First off, thanks guys for coming in, and also congratulations on making it to the Final Four.
Thanks for having us, Jesse.
So Coach, as I obviously touched on, that you guys played Augustana, who's ranked number 1, and you played Whitman, who's obviously ranked number 11. So what kind of key did you see in all the games that led to those victories?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I think the first game of the national tournament probably is a little more tenuous sometimes. In Central College, Iowa gave us a good game. The first half we were tied, and probably our poorest half of the tournament. I really thought at halftime of that game, the guys just kind of came out and let it fly and played the way they can. And so that led into the next night. Elmhurst, who was ranked as highly as number 2 in the country. I thought that victory over them was outstanding. And then, you know, last week against Whitman was up and down, and Augustana's probably as powerful a team as I've seen coaching in 16 years. And I think, you know, generally speaking, when you talk about what's been the hallmarks, I think these guys, Taylor, Grant, Cortez, Ryan, Jimmy, Ryan Bowl, all of them take great care of the ball. They're incredibly unselfish and they trust each other. They've been just playing tenacious defense, and they love playing with each other. And so when you combine all those ingredients, and it sounds easier than it is, but to get guys who are this good to play this unselfishly and tough on defense, it just, you know, I think they're playing and having a lot of fun, but also playing with a lot of grit.
So Grant, obviously you and Cortez have had a huge tournament. What kind of makes this backcourt pretty successful? What do you guys do?
You know, we feed off each other really well. We love playing together, and that goes on the court as well as off the court. We get along great off the court. We're great buddies, and that's something that's consistent with everyone on the team, with Taylor and I and everyone. We're a really close-knit group, and we love playing together, and it works on the floor, and I think that shows. Obviously,
you and Cortez are pretty good shooters too. Do you think that really helps being able to drive to the lane and also being able to step back and take that shot?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's defenders can't really guard a certain way. They can't really take Cortez's shot away because they can go around him, and vice versa with me. And that's something that all our guys bring to the table. And so far in the tournament, we've been able to expose the defense a little bit. But I mean, on any given night, it's any one of us that can do that, and that's what makes us so tough to guard.
Taylor, kind of looking at the backcourt of Christopher Newport, they're also led by their guards. I mean, what have you guys really worked on, and what are you guys going to kind of key on to shut those guys down?
Well, today we're going to watch a little bit more film, but this whole tournament, and even this whole season, it's come down to play Tommy basketball. And, I mean, they might be really, really good guards, but as long as we keep doing what we're doing and just stick to our principles, I think the outcome will be good.
You kind of touched on playing Tommy basketball. Does that kind of help when you play against Tommy basketball, against these strong guards like Cortez and Grant?
Oh yeah, it helps. I mean, I feel like a lot of our practices are harder than some of the games we play in because it's so physical and everyone's just competing. And practices help playing against Grant one-on-one. I mean, last season, even some of this season, we'd always play one-on-one during a water break and trying to have a competition.
I'd always win, by the way.
So, Coach, obviously Taylor just touched on about how watching film about Christopher Newport, that's all you pretty much know about them, being it's your first time playing them in program history. What's the hardest part about just watching film on a team and not really being able to see them?
Well, there's no doubt you see something different in person. So Friday after we played Whitman, to see Augustana up close in person, we had seen half a dozen, maybe more films on them, but to see them in person I think is always helpful. You know, Christopher Newport, you don't get to be 30-1 like they have without being incredibly good. They're well balanced. They've got 3 dynamic scorers, 2 of them off the bench, which is pretty unique. They've got an excellent post, and their defensive numbers are stellar. So they're, you know, they don't have a glaring weakness. There's nothing that we're going to go in and say, let's expose this. And as Taylor and Grant alluded to, I mean, really our mantra all year has been focus on us, trust that what we do is good enough. And you know, we've seen 4 really good opponents, and we know Christopher Newport's going to be an equally daunting challenge. But I know we couldn't be more excited to go to Salem, Virginia, and I'm so proud of these guys the way they've played all year. It's as a coach, it's really gratifying, especially to see so many veterans who have put in the time and year over year have improved. You know, Augustana kicked our butts pretty good 2 years ago in the tournament, and these guys all played in that game, and to see how far they've come, I think that's a testament to their work ethic.
It's definitely been great as a fan, too, to see this team grow.
It has. They're a fun group to work with.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's time for this week's fan question. Taylor and Grant, sophomore Anthony Montero wants to know, who's in your Final Four March Madness brackets?
Oh, to be honest, I haven't really looked at the brackets because I've been so focused on school and getting to Salem. But my pick to win it all is Kansas this year.
Ooh.
Although I'm focused on school too, I've looked at the brackets quite a bit. I'm a big North Carolina fan, so I have them. I have North Carolina, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Virginia in my Final Four.
Coach, you got like a dark horse that you're looking at, obviously being a big basketball junkie.
You don't want to ask. Honestly, on Sunday, we got back. We bussed from midnight until 7 a.m. back from Rock Island. We got back. I slept for a couple hours. We got up and we had a bunch of film on Christopher Newport. And at about 6 p.m., somebody texted me and said, "What do you think of the bracket?" And I'd forgotten that it was Selection Sunday
wow.
for Division I. So you don't want any of my advice. You're better throwing darts.
So there's no favorite that you could pick, maybe?
No, I have no clue. I'm a Badger fan because I went to grad school there, so I'll pull for them.
All right, there you go, Big Ten schools. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
If you have a question, tweet it to @TommieMedia. Thanks for watching. With Coach John Tower, Grant Shaeffer, and Taylor Montero, I'm Jesse Krull. We'll see you next time in The Locker Room.